Hello everyone, we are here playing more Modern Ad Nauseam. Well, kind of playing Ad Nauseam. We're playing Thassa's Oracle, and that's what really counts. This time we're playing Pillage the Bog. So Pillage the Bog is the new card from Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and it has plot, and so you can plot it for 3, or you can hardcast it for 2. And it looks at the top X cards of your library, where X is twice the number of lands you control, put 1 into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So the idea behind Pillage the Bog is that between Profane and Pillage, we have a lot of ways to, like, for example, we can turn 2 suspend a Profane, turn 3 plot a Pillage, and then on turn 4, dig 8 deep with the Pillage, search with the Profane, and try to find the pieces for our combo. If that doesn't quite work out, we can grab a One Ring, and then we can try to get to the combo that way while we have some protection. For proper protection, we have Pact and Negation, and then we have our normal combo of Angel's Grace, Spoils, Oracle. We additionally are running these copies of Farseek. Since we have the green for Pillage the Bog, that means that Farseek will let us get Surveil lands, which gives us some additional selection in the early game. And then finally, green opens up a whole bunch of good sideboard cards between Veil of Summer, Pick Your Poison, and Boseiju Who Endures. So that's the idea. We're going to try this out, and actually, I think I'm maybe going to switch the Unlife for an additional piece of removal. I wanted the Unlifes for Prowess, but I think the extra piece of removal, because I'm feeling a little light on removal with only 2 pieces. Okay, so we'll go like this, and let's hop into a league, see how it goes. And we are here with round number 1. So our opening hand is decent. We've got a ring, we've got some ramp in Farseek. I am going to go ahead and keep this. So something that I was told recently by someone I know, they said that when you search for me on YouTube, it's kind of hard to find because it pulls up a whole bunch of stuff about mint condition cards or whatever, mint card, whatnot. So if that is, if you're interested in getting more Thassa's Oracle content and, you don't want to have to like dig through to find me or something like that, then, you can always definitely subscribe. I'd appreciate it. It helps the channel. And then, you get updates about various strange combo decks. The other thing I was just thinking of, as far as the plot card, the name of it is escaping me for a second here, but that card is essentially a 3-mana tutor. So when we have Grim Tutor or something like that, I'm a little bit suspect of it. Maybe it's good enough, but I'm definitely concerned because it could, in some sense, represent a 3-mana do nothing. Well, not do nothing, but like it's just kind of slow. I'm a little worried about the clunkiness. Here we're gonna get the Undercity Sewers, I guess. Do I want a Preordain? I don't think I do. Next turn, we're lined up to play the Ring, which is nice. We could also just like play Farseek and another Surveil. But yeah, so if we have 3-mana tutors already, what makes the plot better? Well, plot does protect it against discard, which is nice. And it lets us find kind of whichever piece we need after we get updated information about turn 3. So that's also nice. So there are some upsides. I'm just kind of calling my shot that I'm a little bit suspicious at the moment. Okay, Godless Shrine. I am going to shock that in because maybe I need to Boseiju something with this. I'm going to play the Ring. I'm going to just go ahead and draw now. All right, so Pact is kind of not what I need. See what our opponent has. Hopefully it's not a Yawgmoth, but I feel like it likely is. Additional copy of Farseek I maybe shouldn't have kept. I was just thinking... Yeah, I think I was just talking. And I wanted to fetch out the Surveil lands, I guess. So, alright, yeah, our opponent does have a Yawgmoth. So they do get to do some sacrificing here if they want, but it looks like they're not choosing to. So we draw with the, for a turn. Now we can draw with the ring. Another spoils is not quite good enough, I think. Now we're gonna have to pass the turn, and I'm a little worried about that. If we surveil, we're not really going to capitalize on this surveil very much. Ooh, Grace on top is decent. So I should have played the Farseek first. I think I'm actually just going to pass and not play the Farseek now, because I don't want to lose this Grace, because that does mean that next, well actually, do I have it next turn? Colors of Mana, yes I do. Okay. Yeah, so I can hold up this Boseiju for something that they might have. Because they're sacking their Geist. Interestingly, we can, in response to, we also have Pact for, you know, something that they might be trying to play, which could be very useful if they're like courting for a Blood Artist. But we know that we can ring in response to the draw trigger and find a Grace, so that is pretty nice. So they're continuing to draw some cards. Like I said, we should have probably played another land. Well, I mean, it's not bad to hold up the Boseiju. So yeah, we do have Pact Boseiju up as protection right now. And as another bonus, our opponent probably has no idea what we're playing. So Peatland. Let's see what they do. Are they gonna they'll hit us for 5? Sure, we go to 10. And then do they have a follow-up? Looks like no. We'll lose a life, go down to 8. Draw for turn. So now we do have, yeah, I'm gonna fetch first. We do just have it here. Thinking about how we can insulate as much as possible. Like if I can find a second copy of the ring for, or sorry, a second copy of Pact, that would be kind of nice. So I can get a Overgrown Tomb, because I'm more likely to need the extra black. We'll take the 2 and shock. Draw with ring. They could have like Bowmasters or something here, but Grace is just fine. Alright, so no extra anything, so it's just going to be Grace. And we have 2 spoils, spoils for Oracle, and then spoils away the rest of our deck. And then we have Pact as backup, depending on what they have. So Thassa's Oracle is obtained, and they are conceding. Okay, so we get the first game against Yawg, so that's pretty cool. So Pick Your Poison would hit Soul Cauldron, but not much else. They could have other hate, but I'm not necessarily expecting it. Push as removal could be decent. I still want a couple of Pacts because they do potentially run Endurance. Thoughtseize potentially interesting. Veil potentially interesting, but not really. They have Bowmaster, but I think I'm not too concerned. Push slows them down. Boseiju could, yeah, I think it's worth playing at least another Boseiju too. What don't I need? We can trim like, well, yeah, the Minamo is likely not needed. Utility. Then maybe we trim like a, and then we've got the pushes in. We can trim like a Preordain. Actually, Phyrexian on life is not that great here. And then maybe we keep a Thoughtseize. Maybe not. All right, so we'll go like this. I think Pick Your Poison is ultimately not necessary, because the main thing we're looking to hit with that is Soul Cauldron, and yeah. Okay, so this is kind of iffy. On the draw, I'm going to keep this. This is effectively a 6 because the second Oracle doesn't really matter. Although if I hit a blue source, I will actually play the second Oracle on 2. And we're looking to plot the pillage on 3. I keep saying suspend. It basically is suspend. It's like optional suspend, but you can use it whenever you want. The Seiju is decent because that means that we can plot this pillage on 3. I'm going to still lead on the Surveil. This does also mean if we find a Farseek, we can Farseek on 2, which would be nice. That can mean turn 3 ring. I'm going to keep this because I think we do just need the 4 lands, and I don't want to have to go find a land with the pillage. So hopefully I draw another combo piece in the next couple of turns, or if not, I at least can play the ring to try and buy me a turn. So note that they didn't have a halfling on turn 1, so hopefully what I'm really hoping for here is no Wall of Roots, so that they don't accelerate, and that means that they're not going to have a turn 3 Yawgmoth, but they do have a Wall of Roots, so they certainly could have a turn 3 Yawgmoth. I mean, there isn't a ton they can do with it if they have it. They only have, well, no, they do have, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to play this, and now I can go fetch a Surveil land. I'm a little concerned. Hopefully there's no Yawgmoth. Like a Grist or something like that would be okay. Do have the ring on the way. And again, I'm not, well, actually I maybe should have gotten something and then played the Oracle. Yeah, if I'd gotten something and played the Oracle, well, oh, do they not have the land? But, I mean, they do have infinite if they have the... Alright. Yeah, so if they have, like, Yawgmoth and they just don't have the 4th mana, if they hit the 4th mana, we're super dead. So I'm going to get a Hedge Maze so that I have double blue, because I do need double blue. Push. Ooh, push is awkward. I could push the Wall of Roots. Yeah, I think I like that. Keep the push, push the Wall of Roots. Slow them down another turn. Have Boseiju if we need it. What are they making with their green? I don't know. They have Bowmasters, that's fine. That doesn't matter at all. Okay. So now we're looking at probably playing ring turn 4, but maybe plotting this pillage depending. We are under a little bit of pressure with, you know, their pile of 1 attack things. They've got a Dryad Arbor. They've got a Soul Cauldron. Now we have to consider, do we blow up this Soul Cauldron? I think probably we do. I don't want to give them that amount of mana. That just... it is only green mana. It is only green mana, and if I blow this up, then they just have the extra land anyway for Yawg. So either way, they get to play a Yawg next turn. They can't play a Yawg this turn. I'm going to let it happen. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, again, they can hit us for a bunch, but the question is, what are they playing with some green mana? Seems like nothing. And I did want this Seiju in order to be able to play the ring, although maybe I will fetch while I still can. We can get a swamp. And yeah, if I think I'm reasonably likely to die if I plot this pillage, I'm just gonna go ahead and play the ring. Draw. Grace is a good pickup. I just need to find spoils, basically. If I had the Pillage already plotted, we'd be in excellent shape. But it's, I mean, we don't have the 6th land. So with 6 lands, I could Pillage digging for a Spoils, which would be nice. I think I'm not likely to survive more than my 1 turn that I'm going to get due to the ring. And even then, I'm not 100% I'm going to survive that. If they Yawg here, I probably pack to the Yawg. And then I go for the Grace on upkeep. And then I just hope to, between my draw step and the 2 cards from the ring, that I hit a Spoils. I think that's basically my only line. These guys are getting bigger. They also do have the play of, wait, oh no, they don't have counters on them though. Yeah, they don't have a sack outlet. Let's see, what are they playing? Is it Yawg? Yeah, so we have to pact this. And again, we'll go for Grace on our upkeep. Can't really do anything here, and maybe they have second Yawg. I mean, they can Soul Cauldron the Yawg. Basically, we have to win here. I'm tapping the Godless Shrine because I need the 2 blue for Oracle, and the Swamp represents my spoils. That's, well, okay, so here's an interesting situation. I could play this first for the Scry to dig 1 card deeper. On the other hand, if I hit like a blue land plus Preordain off of the Oracle, then, or off of the ring, then I'm maybe able to play that. I think that's less likely than just having this Surveil matter. Okay, so it's on top, so we should get it. I mean, they could have a, yeah, they could have an Endurance, but unless they have an Endurance, we do get this. So we have our Grace. We have Oracle. And we've got Spoils. Do you have the Endurance? Name Simian Spirit Guide, as is tradition. And we get there. Okay, a tight game 2 against Yawg, but I mean, this was pretty sweet, except we didn't really leverage Pillage the Bog at all. We just kind of played like a traditional ring Esper Spoils type of list that we've been messing around with. Okay, so round 2, let's maybe try to cast Pillage this time. Okay, round 2. We're against the famous Composer, Bach MTG. So let's keep our opening hand. We've got a Pillage, we've got 2/3 of the combo, and hopefully Pillage represents the last piece. We'll get a Surveil land on turn 1. I will say in the first game in particular, Farseek felt very nice, which this does remind me a little bit. Well, yeah, there's old like Ad Nauseam style lists that I messed around with a little bit. This was, I'm talking like 2019. You might be able to find them on my channel if you go way back. I'm not actually sure if I have videos on them. So we'll go for a, so we do have to think about our lands quite a bit here. So I'm going to go for the Hedge Maze so that we have double blue, but also it's a Surveil land. The Godless Shrine represents either white or black, so then our other land we can just get another white or black. And then this plus the Godless Shrine means I can plot the Pillage. Do I need the ring? I think I don't. Just want land. Oh, I got another ring. Yeah, so I could have played a land and played the Oracle. I'm saving the life against potentially a red deck. Although this could this could be creativity. So plotting Pillage again will be nice. I do just need to hit lands though. Yeah, so it's creativity. Fortunately, they did not bin something that they can persist, so that's nice. Okay, so They've got a Bitter Reunion. Now they could definitely persist something back next turn. That being said, we're a little bit... Oh, they bin the persist. So maybe they don't have the Archon. Pact is not the best here. Alright, so we plot our Pillage. And we really are just going to be hoping to draw a land next turn. If we don't, depending on what they do, we either go for an Oracle or we just go for the plot and try to hit a land. And then maybe play a ring. We have some options. Okay, so a tapped commercial district is one of the less scary things I feel like they could be presenting here. They do surveil away a Mesa. They've got another Bitter Reunion, so I think we're certainly facing down a creativity next turn, but it looks like it's only going to be for 1, which is pretty nice. Okay, so we are going to go for a land with this Pillage, and we're going to try and play the ring, I think. The other option is we play the Oracle. No, I think we need a land. Yeah, so, alright, we take the Verdant, play the Verdant, fetch, got a Swamp. So we have all the combo pieces, play the ring, draw a card. Unlife is more combo, so that's good. I mean, it is something we can play, so it does give us the win in 2 turns, and they probably can't interact with this, although it is not certain. Okay, so they didn't actually have the creativity, maybe? Do they just have like a pile of removal? I'm a little confused as to what's in their hand, unless they're going for like a double or that they don't want to combo into the ring. Alright, so we lose a life due to the ring. Draw for turn. Profane is also not really what we need. We do have a land here. If we play the land, we can play the Unlife, and then hardcast Pillage looking for a Grace to let us know if we can pact defensively here. These Profanes are food if things need to get discarded. All 4 of our Angel's Graces. Okay, so we take one of those. Now, again, we can pact defensively. And then we also have combo next turn. So that's pretty nice. If we have to discard things, we have these Profanes. I don't think our life total is really going to be under enough threat. So we'll see what they do. There's definitely some pressure on them. It's like, okay, you know, go ahead. Are you going to do a big, a big creativity? It's a little bit tough. The creativity for just a couple, I think I'm just going to let it happen. Because there's like there's kind of no downside. I can just bin these Profane Tutors. Interestingly, I feel like this is the first game that I'm seeing Profane Tutor in. Have I seen a Profane Tutor yet? Maybe not. Pillage was decent here. I'm not saying it was amazing, but the ability to find the land was pretty nice, and then using it plotted versus unplotted was kind of flexible. A little bit awkward that we didn't hit the land, but you know. Opponent's going to hit us for 3. We're taking 2 from our ring. And we have a Grace in hand, so we're pretty insulated against this. The thing I would fear most is actually like land destruction of some kind. So again, they can do a big creativity here. But 5, 6? Yeah, I mean, they're going creativity 3. I'm just going to pack this. I mean, they're tapped out, and I don't see a reason to let this happen. It's not like they can like play anything else. So we're going to stack our triggers, respond with a Grace. will not pay for our pact. Lose some life to the ring, draw for turn. We'll draw a couple extra cards just in case we need them. Play the Polluted Delta. There's no real reason to show them more cards though. I'm going to go Oracle and Spoils. Let me name the Simian Spirit Guide. Could think about fetching out a black card or a black source so that we have access to the second Spoils, but we really don't need it. Or a blue source to just play the second Oracle. Again, it doesn't really matter. All right, so we'll take Veil. Thoughtseize. I mean, I don't know if I'm as interested in Thoughtseize. Pact is, I think, not that good here. Pick Your Poison can be, but again, I don't think it's that important. So I think mostly it's just these Veils. It may actually just be a straight swap Veil for Pact. Pact is not great here. It's not the worst either, though. Yeah, I mean, it is nice to be able to, like... But they didn't play a relevant card, right? Okay, so we're going to go like this. I'm going to choose to think that they don't have relevant cards. Okay, so... What does this hand do? We've got one combo piece. We've got a ring. Got a Underground Mortuary. I'm going to keep this. We have some decisions. Do we preordain on one? Do we play the Mortuary? I think we likely play the Mortuary. It sets us up for a Farseek. It also sets us up for potentially... I don't remember the other thing I was thinking about, but a Farseek would be nice. Just gets the Surveil out of the way while we can. I don't think I need another land, though. So now turn 2. We have some different options. We could like play the Otawara and preordain. We could Misty, fetch like a Hallowed Fountain. I think I have Hallowed Fountain in here. We're basically playing like one of every like non-red shock land. So getting this Unlife down on 3 would be nice. And we're lined up for like the ring on 4. That means preordain on 2 with the Otawara potentially. But again, maybe it is Misty and Shock. Okay, so they have Bitter Reunion. Do they have a fast Archon? Yes, so this could be a Persist next turn. That would be a little unfortunate. Spoils is a good pickup. So I am going to go for the Hallowed Fountain here. Pay the 2, and then preordain. And Oracle is also a good pickup. So I'm going to top both of these. Now we just have the combo on 4. If they make us discard by persisting back in Archon, I think I'm actually going to dump the ring. And then we'll see what happens beyond that. They could Thoughtseize us. Okay, Fable. Fable is not that scary. And they do potentially have a hit for 2 next turn. But, oh wait, do we actually... We're off on a color. Oh, but not if I have the Unlife. Okay. So Unlife is actually huge here. Because otherwise which I should have played the Otawara so that I have 3 potential discards. I don't think it's going to matter. Because even if they have like land and then yeah, they don't have enough. They could creativity for 2 here, but if so, we'll discard the ring and Grace. We could even discard a Spoils if we had to, so we could actually survive creativity for and still not have to discard our Otawara. But it would have been correct to discard the Otawara. Alright, so they dump a Bitter Reunion and an Archon. Unlife in play. They're not that likely to be able to remove it. We do actually not have the win if they remove it, so that means my first discard isn't going to be the ring. It will actually probably be... Well, it depends on what they do. If there's any threat of them removing the unlife, I need to keep the ring, because then that's my only way to stay in the game. Okay, they Thoughtseize us. Now the double spoils is valuable, so if they take the Oracle, we have spoils for Oracle spoils. So we're just going to let that happen. Pretty insulated against whatever they could have. Other than, you know, if they have like a Boseiju blow up on life, that would be sort of the worst case. Although, that does give us another blue land. Again, you know, it's a question of what are they going to take. They disrupt our combo. You know, if they have all of the disruption, they just hit our combo, we do just have the ring. Grace is maybe my first discard, so like let's say they attack and then they creativity for 1, it's probably going to be discard Grace. They're definitely in the tank here a little bit. So again, just sort of a game where we're playing as normal spoils. Not really leveraging the green all that much in this game. Profane Tutor continues to remain conspicuously absent. They do end up taking the Oracle. Now, if they have a second discard, that would be good for them. But no, they will only have 4 mana here. So they can only creativity for 1. So I think they're going for it. Yes, that's fine. Have their Archon. So we'll discard a Grace. And we've just got it. I mean, they could, I guess, have something kind of crazy / fringe. Play the Otawara. Spoils for a Thassa's Oracle. Play the Thassa's Oracle. And then spoils away the rest of our deck. Send me a Spirit Guide. And that is a victory. Alright, so a 2-0 over creativity. And we're into the third round. Round 3, we have a double tutor hand. So this is the kind of hand that we kind of signed up for when we decided that we wanted to play this deck. So I'm going to keep this. It's going to be turn 2 Profane probably, and then turn 3. There is this awkward tension of like, I can't ramp Profane and Pillage. Okay, it's Yawgmoth again. So yeah, this is definitely awkward. I'm gonna fetch the island to just preserve life a little bit, and then preordain. I think I do want both of these. So then I can go for next turn, suspend a Profane. Well, if I Farseek, but I have to Farseek and find exactly Oracle with it. And it is very good to hit both of those, don't get me wrong. I think it's a little ambitious to end or to go. Yeah, actually, no, even with that, we can't turn 3. So it's going to have to be like Verdant, fetch something that suspends Profane, suspend Profane. So hopefully, again, they don't have like an accelerant. That would be worst case for us. Pillage, not looking its best here. And then we need to be picking up another land. So I'm a little worried that we maybe aren't going to draw a land. And then turn 3, it's going to be Farseek, surveil land, hope we surveil a land to the top. Our opponent's hand looks a little bit slow themselves, so that's good for us. We did just, you know, hit 2 of our combo pieces. So we need we need black, we need green, so we're going to get an Overgrown Tomb. And we're going to suspend a Profane Tutor. Alright, so I mean that represents an Oracle. I could actually, if I miss next turn on the land, I do have this Preordain, which is a very nice boost. The Walking Ballista in the graveyard, you do not like to see that. So that could represent a Soul Cauldron into problems. Okay, Blooming Marsh. Still playing nothing. Are they gonna... I guess they're going to Chord for 1? Could also be like Bowmasters. So we're going to Preordain into this Bowmasters. We have to. No choice. And we're going to basically have to hope that we're not dead on their next turn. If we're not, I think we're in good shape. Hedge Maze, Pact. I think we definitely don't want Pact. Hedge Maze is interesting in that it is a land. So I will put it on top. But, I mean, I need to surveil to another land with this. Okay, that's interesting because now I can... No, but I'm going to have to... Oh, no, but it's on top, so I can Spoils for it. So I can Spoils for it, and then my Profane can search a land. And that's my plan this game. So I do just have it next turn if everything goes right. So let's see. I mean, they have 4 damage in play. Do they have a... No, they can't have a Chord here. They don't have the triple green. It looks like that they had a Chord and they wanted to, but then they forgot that they didn't have triple green. So, I mean, they can definitely have some powerful stuff here. Yawg would be the scariest option, and it's pretty likely. Looks like what they're playing. Yeah, that's a Yawg. Then the question is, I mean, they don't have a full combo here. They're hitting with the wolf. I don't know why they're holding back these Bowmasters. Are they going to try and Chord with it? But they don't have enough green creatures, so I don't know what they're doing. And again, end step, we absolutely have to Spoils for Thassa's Oracle here. So we're using the rare hidden mode of Spoils as it's a cantrip. Our opponent probably is very confused as to what we're doing. That's always an advantage when you get that confusion bonus. Surveilled it to the top so we know it's there. It's their end step. They have 3 black creatures untapped. So we need to get an untapped white source. And so we will get a Hallowed Fountain. Have the life to pay for it. So you have so many redundant tutors here that don't really matter. We're going to go for Oracle. We're going to go for Spoils and then Holding Control. It's Grace. And we ask the question, do you have main deck Endurance? So far it's looking like no. But obviously they wouldn't do that till after we cast the Spoils. They just clicked very quickly there. Are they gonna kill it in response? Okay, I mean, sure. And kill it. It doesn't do anything. I feel like sometimes people just do this in the hope that they're gonna like bluff me into conceding, because I feel like there's no way that as many people online, like in paper, people don't really kill the Oracle that much, right? But online, people kill the Oracle all the time, and I'm just always like, why? It's got to be some sort of bluff. I mean, okay, yeah, they're drawing cards, so here it's not bad to draw some cards. Maybe they have the Endurance as an out, but no, they don't. Okay, so game number 1 up against Yawg. We get the win, which is nice. I'm going to keep these Fatal Pushes to try and slow them down a little bit. We're going to cut a couple Pacts. Boseiju, yeah. Yeah, I think we do want the Boseijus. Well, at least, yeah, we'll bring in the Boseijus. And then what did I cut last time? Unlife is not great here. Veil is, like, it can be okay, but I'm not super sold on it. Pick your poison. It's really only hitting Soul Cauldron, so I think it's not worth it. Preordain could be cut. And maybe, like, a land. We cut, like, a breeding pool. Go like this. Some Pact is still nice due to the Pact Grace lines. And I feel like this deck does more of that than other versions could. Okay, I mean, we've got 2/3 of the combo. We've got some lands and a Farseek. I'll keep this. Grace potentially lets me like Fog for a turn and then Fog again on our turns. The second Grace is not irrelevant against Yawgmoth. Depends on what their combo is, though. If it's like a Ballista thing, then it's not at its best. Or sorry, no, Ballista it is at its best. If it's against a Blood Artist, it's not. So we'll go Delta for the turn 1 Surveil land. Playing 4 Surveil lands in here, which is definitely a lot, but they really do play nicely with Farseek. Honestly, Farseek I've been pretty happy with, even though I feel like I haven't casted that much. The last game was a weird situation. Okay, so they have Thoughtseize. So this does mean that it's not a Grist. But I don't care about Grist that much. I'd honestly rather it be Grist than Thoughtseize. Probably they're taking Spoils, yeah. And this acceleration does represent a potential turn 3 Yawg. Okay, they have a Soul Cauldron. You can eat something, but none of these are creatures, so that's not a huge deal. Here we will get the Underground Mortuary for black. We'll leave the Oracle on top because it is a card we need. And then we can blow up the Soul Cauldron. I think I don't need to yet. I think I'm going to take the opportunity to get this Farseek in. We'll get the Meticulous Archive to get our white source. Profane is, I think, probably too slow. So, well, next turn I could, like, Profane, blow up the Soul Cauldron. Pass a turn. Alright, I'll keep the Profane. It's not good, but it's not the worst. Okay, so sure, they're eating a Spoils. See what else they've got. Maybe they didn't have the third land, but they have the Yawg. Okay, so they've got a Young Wolf. I mean, then Boseijuing does give them the third land, is the thing. But I can just kind of hold the Boseiju and then see if I need to play it or not. I don't need to decide immediately if I'm playing it. So we suspend the Profane. So this does represent a win in 2 turns, if we can live. So Bowmasters, again, I'm not that concerned about that. I have 2 cards left. It could be, well, alright, let's see. And they're going to hit us for a bit here, but maybe they didn't find the third land. Abilities of creatures, yep. It's not the most common part. They've got 3 cards in hand. They're thinking. If we don't, yeah, the choice on this Boseiju is a tough one. Because it does just give them the 4th mana, which does give them the Yawgmoth, which potentially lets them kill us. So I think we hold it back until there's a reason to in response to like the Soul Cauldron eating something important. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to fetch a Surveil land and try to find something that'll do something next turn. Okay, so Wall of Roots. That still just represents a little bit of mana. So they only have 2 mana right now. Soul Cauldron has no relevant creatures to eat. They're going to hit us for 3 to 13. Okay, they're going to hit us for 2 to 12. It can't really cord here. They only have 2 greens now. Not sure about that. We'll get the sewers and surveil again. Don't need this. Okay, so we've got a Misty, which we can play. And then it's just hold up this Boseiju, nullify the Soul Cauldron if needed. And otherwise, pray we don't die. What are they? Wait, how did they? Oh, they paid 1 with the roots and then convoked, yeah. Alright, so what do they have? Is it like another Bowmasters? Some sort of hate creature? Blood Artist? Blood Artist would be bad. And we do have... Yeah, I mean... We'll see. Do they... I mean, they probably just have Yawg here. Yeah, that's Yawg. So... I'm going to blow up the Soul Cauldron in response here so that they can't go too crazy with the Soul Cauldron. It does give them 1 more mana, but otherwise they can like sack things and then in response Soul Cauldron. So my real play here is just kind of hope that they don't put me to negative and that, you know, when they try to next turn on my turn or something like that, I just have the grace. So they've got another Yawg. Okay, so they're infinite. So... yeah, so they put us negative. There's a... Alright, fine. So there's a window where they... What was I going to say? So, like, we can't just grace and then grace into the next turn because at some point the grace effect wears off at the end of that turn, and then we die to state-based effects before it goes to our turn and we can play the second grace. So I think we're just going to run it back. I'm reasonably happy with our cards here. Unlife is good against Blood Artist, but feels a little bit niche. Especially when, like, you know, I expect them to be able to blow up artifacts and enchantments in general. Alright, so we can go for our Surveil on turn 1 into Profane on turn 2. We also have the Profane, or the Fatal Push, which is nice. We can save this potentially for a Yawg, or if they have like an Accelerant, maybe we use it on the Accelerant. I'm going to get the... I want a black Surveil, so I guess it's Undercity Sewers. Don't need that. This Verdant is going to probably have to represent something with green. Okay, that's a good pickup. The Boseiju is a little bit awkward in that it doesn't cast, like, so we can use it for pillage, but then we're going to be off by a color of land on turn 4. So really, we would like to draw another land. And then, okay, so they have a Wall of Roots. We may end up pushing that. It'd be nice if we could draw another land and then we could like get a duel with green, plot the pillage, and then probably just be okay next turn. If I don't draw a land, or a combo piece, I'm more likely to push and then maybe hardcast the pillage. Well, actually, I don't have the colors for that. Otawara. So what does that represent? So if I get white-green, I can plot this pillage, and then next turn I can play the Otawara as my land. Yeah, I like that. Temple Garden. We plot this. Wait. The slightly annoying thing about this Actually, maybe we should have just used it there. No, I can see what I draw for my turn. Yeah, the slightly annoying thing is I can't, and they're probably going to play like land Yawg or something. I can't like use that first and then profane to whatever I miss for. So that is one thing I'm noticing about this list. There are a lot of these like little slightly clunky interactions that are not the end of the world, but you do need to be a little bit careful in how you're sequencing, because otherwise you can definitely lose games where your sequencing is like just a little bit off and lose. I'm still not sure how exactly I'm going to handle this profane pillage turn next turn. So thinking I probably will profane for a grace. I know spoils is more flexible. Grace might be needed to live. Well, I mean, okay, so it's probably Yawg coming down. Oh, it's Grist. Oh, that's so much less scary. Grist doesn't do anything. Just makes insects. Alright, that's totally fine. Okay, I like that a lot for us. Yeah, see, now we have to profane on upkeep. Oh yeah, okay, there. And then the plot is a little weird. I could have plotted last turn, so maybe I should have just plotted for 6. But then maybe I should have just hardcast it, but I guess I figured there was... I'm gonna grab a Grace. Okay, we drew the spoils. Well, we're lucky, I guess. So we'll cast this Pillage. Looking for like a pact. How do I feel about like Misty Rainforest? I mean, I don't really feel like I need it. Maybe I'll take it so that I can like revolt a push if anything goes really wrong. Kill Yawgmoth. They could definitely have endurance. Question here is, do I respect endurance? Hmm. They can cord for, so they have 3 creatures, 1, 2. They can cord for 2. They can't cord for 3. So given that they can't cord for 3, I think I'm just not going to respect this endurance. Like, if we don't go for it now, what is our plan? Play a fatal push and hope we draw something that can deal with the endurance. If I'd hit like another spoils off of the pillage, I would have considered it, but and they're thinking about the timing. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking about. If they have the endurance, we're just dead, but sometimes you just have to go for it. Again, they can't cord for it. We took our shot at finding like a pact or something with pillage, or again, had we find another spoils, there's maybe a chance I wait a turn, like play Misty, hold up, push, try something like that. Kill the Yawg. Opponent is just waiting. Either they're incredulous or they have interaction and they're looking up like when they should use it. Hopefully they're incredulous. But let's see. Okay, we win the match. So we took our chances, got a little bit lucky. This did illustrate sort of the strangeness between profane and pillage, but sometimes you only need one, and so the additional redundancy is good. It also does sort of enable you to like hit in those situations where you need the 4th land, so that's a chance. The Bosejus maybe are a little bit less good with the fact that I need them to be a land sometimes, but I'm really sort of considering them a spell that occasionally casts Farseek. So in that sense, I think they're still okay. All right, so round 4. Round 4, triple Profane Tutor is not it, so we're going to mulligan this one. Triple Thassa's Oracle is also not it, but we're going to keep this one because we can ship a Thassa's Oracle, and then this is like, and we have 2/3 of the combo and a Preordain. And lead on Hedge Maze, we potentially play one of these Thassas as a blocker, aka a Surveiller. Our opponent leads on Hedge Maze, so that's always interesting. Okay, I mean, another Preordain, not the worst. I will take the Archive, because I do need lands, and I'm probably setting up next turn either Preordain Archive or, yeah, probably Preordain Archive. And probably it's play Preordain before Archive. I think anything other than, yeah, I probably only want like one of cards. Our opponent could be playing the same deck as us. They're not. They're probably playing like Living End or something. Hedge Maze, oh, they really could be playing the same deck as us. Okay, no, they're playing Atraxa Goryos. So they get rid of a priest. Oh wait, no, this is not Atraxa Goryos. This is the. Is this Atraxa Goryos or is this just the scam deck? One of them. So I'm gonna Preordain. I will keep one more land, and then that does just mean I have all of my land drops. I don't think we can spend the time on a Profane Tutor. And so next turn I'm thinking we Preordain, we potentially play the Oracle if we need to, and because we do just need to be fast here. Okay, they have a Thoughtseize. That's probably taking Spoils. I mean, they're not really making that much progress either. What did they return with the Archaeologist? Oh, Tainted Indulgence. Okay. Okay, yeah, so they take the spoils. That's expected. And what else are they doing? Probably fetching for something that lets them play the Tainted Indulgence, if I had to guess. Because of the discard, we do sort of end up in a situation here where we have to think about if we want to play. Okay, another Archaeologist, sure. They do hit the Atraxa. Probably they're taking back the Thoughtseize. Took back Faithful Mending. So that feels weird. Pact. I mean, Pact can be okay here. We're gonna Preordain. Spoils Ring. Both good cards. I'm gonna put Ring on top, put Spoils on top of that, draw it, play the fetch land, not use the fetch land, and then try to Ring next turn. If they bring stuff back, well, I mean, there is we pact this, and then we potentially we surveil, we miss, we spoils for grace. That feels very risky. On the other hand, if they bring this back, I mean, they very likely hit a whole bunch of interaction that wipes us out. I think I'm going to roll the dice on them not hitting the interaction, though. Because, like, how do we win this game? We win this game if they whiff. Solitude doesn't matter. Grief is not here. They can ephemerate their Atraxa. But let's see. I mean, they could take like land Thoughtseize. Even if they Thoughtseize us to take the spoils, but we still just get to play the ring next turn. Maybe we can draw out of it. It's not likely, but it's possible. They're gonna hit us with the Atraxa. Yeah. What do they take off of the Ephemerate, Swamp, Solitude, Thoughtseize? Okay, yes, they are representing Swamp, Thoughtseize. Okay. So they'll almost certainly take the spoils. But again, we can't really afford to pact here. It leaves us too far down on resources. We have to rely on them getting unlucky. Now, the nice thing is, even if they like ephemerate this and then hit a grief, we're kind of insulated against grief a little bit. Because like, okay, I mean, what are you gonna... Okay, they don't hit a grief anyway. But like, yeah, I mean, your grief and Oracle, sure, but like, what else is happening? The place where we need to be concerned is potentially like draw step griefs with ephemerate or something like that, but like on our next turn after we play the ring. So they played their land for the turn. Alright, well, I mean, we do need this ring to be very good, or we need to start chaining rings together. So we're in for a long game here. They're going to reflexer flicker this Atraxa next turn. So they took Goryo's Vengeance Island Grizzle. They're set up for a Goryo's Grizzle next turn. And we're not going to fetch here because we know we have the ring on top and we want the ring. They're going to discard their Grizzle, I would assume. Okay, so now we can play the Verdant. We can fetch. What do we need color-wise? I'm just going to take some... Well, am I going to take some damage? Godless Shrine feels like that could be relevant. And then maybe we get the basic... Well... Yeah, maybe we get the basic Swamp. No, maybe we get the basic Island. That gives us all the colors that we need. Double blue, white, black. Play the One Ring. So far we haven't seen a Force Negation. If they have a Force Negation here, we're dead. But, don't think. Alright. So ring. We draw another ring, so I mean that's a start. Maybe we can keep chaining rings. Yeah, they can flicker an Atraxa. But what else are they doing? Okay, so there's grief. Force of Negation is now present. So I would assume that they're going to take a Force of Negation. We do have Pact for that, which is good, but it's still a bit risky. Now, it'll be an interesting question to see what else they play. Like, do they play like land and try to like grief scam us? They like hold up force. Who knows? We'll see. I think we're probably losing this game. I've got the shadowy backstreet. They're definitely thinking about this. I think it's just like clearly like force grief, land. Well, maybe it's not clearly grief. It would be force Philology land. But I don't know. I feel like they have a black cards. Yeah, they have Goryo. So like I think they have an ephemerate. They use an ephemerate. I'm not sure if they still have an ephemerate. But if they do, then they can just like play Grief land. Grief's irrelevant, but then on our draw step, ephemerate the Grief, and then have Force up. That just seems like clearly the right pick. We do know they have a Faithful Mending, a Tainted Indulgence in hand. So Mending represents a blue card, or either of those represents a blue card for Force. Indulgence also represents a black card for Grief. They're really in the tank on this one. So yeah, our plays are pretty clear cut. It's just like draw a card, draw some cards with the ring, play a ring, defend it with Pact if we have to, and maybe try to hit a Grace. We'll keep the old ring. In that case, what do they keep? They keep Bone Shards, Ephemerate, Grief, Flooded Strand. Okay, so they don't take a Force, which seems interesting to me. Bone Shards. Is that the only sorcery? Oh yeah, okay. Alright, so I assume they're going for the Grief Scam. So if they're doing this and they didn't keep a Force, I think I'm more likely to Pact. I'll Pact the Ephemerate on upkeep. And even if I don't have the guaranteed, yeah, so they're going for the draw step Grief is what they're doing. So even if I don't have the guaranteed Grace, I think it's still high enough upside. So again, yeah, not keeping Force feels bold to me, but alright, so we lose a life to the ring. Am I gonna go for it beforehand? No. Right, so we draw a step. Okay, we draw a Grace. So they are going to Ephemerate their Grief. We will Pact that. And did they pick up a Force? Okay. No. Draw some cards with the ring. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. I'm certainly not gonna complain. Third Spoils, we got a little bit lucky, but I mean, you put cards in your deck to draw them, and the ring draws cards. So even if we didn't have this, we could have maybe chained like more rings or something. So I think we weren't out of it. I mean, they could have gone for more ephemerate draws and would have gotten messy. I think we were definitely still not favored. But I mean, we have a chance, or we had a chance. But now I think, unless they just have Force here, which they don't because they didn't keep Force, we've just got it. Simian Spirit Guide, as is tradition. I'm going to pick up game number 1. So, that was key to win, because I feel like Goryo's is a pretty hard matchup overall. Well, alright, we haven't actually won it yet, but I don't know what they're going to do about an Oracle trick on the stack. Solitude by Oracle, sure. But Goryo's feels like a pretty tough matchup overall, so getting to have game 3 on the play if we lose is definitely nice. What do I want against them? I mean, we probably need the Veil of Summers. Veil is pretty good here. Thoughtseize is, I think, also worth considering. Phyrexian Unlife seems not as good. Pact can be okay. Can be a little bit dead sometimes. Ring? I actually think Ring is not that good. It was good that game. But overall, I think we just need to be more reliant on some of our interaction. So I'm going to cut copies of the Ring. I'm going to cut up a Seiju, because like, what am I want to blow up with it? Probably nothing. And then I'm going to actually maybe cut a Farseek. And we're just looking to play an interactive game with Val and Thoughtseize. and Pact, and then just win on turn 4 with our like tutor heavy stuff. I mean, Ring is good against them, don't get me wrong, but Ring suffers a little bit against like Force of Negation. So like, are we just gonna tap out for a Ring and then they Force of Negation us and then we're sad? That would be bad. And the other downside there is, do I want? Maybe I do want the Farseek just to accelerate to turn 3. I should have kept the Farseek, I think. I mean, yeah, we'll keep this. We're probably going to play a turn behind curve with like turn 1, hold up Veil, turn 2. Oh, okay, they're surveilling. I mean, I would like to be able to get my surveil in. Yeah, okay, I am going to surveil here. And I'll keep a preordained. I'm going to hope that they don't Thoughtseize me right away here. And it looks like they're not. So now we have some interesting choices. I mean, we could go for a Farseek. I think if they... the other option is we go for like a Thoughtseize and then hold up Veil. And then if it misses, then we can... Yeah, I think I like that. I'm going to Thoughtseize them. If it misses, then we can... or if like next turn we Farseek, then we can still hold up Veil, or like Farseek Preordain if we had to use it. Different options. So question is, what are they doing with this? They're going for a Godless Shrine. And then they're playing a Tainted Indulgence, okay. So draw 2 cards, discard a card. So this is how they're getting their Atraxa into their yard. And we've got Goryo's Atraxa, Ephemerate, Phalagi, Grief, Thoughtseize. So I'm going to get rid of the Goryos because we just can't deal with that. So we have to let them have the rest of it. We do have the Veil for whatever their Grief or Thoughtseize play is, especially if they try to scam it. So that's nice. Probably will get Breeding Pool as our fetch to start developing some blue mana, although we do have Hedge Maze also, but we do need 2 blue mana eventually. I'm going to rapidly need a second Veil. If they Grief, it's a little bit awkward. Okay, they don't, they Thoughtseize. I'm gonna fetch a, yeah, it's Breeding Pool. We'll Veil. Maybe we can find another Veil for this Grief. Spoils is a good pickup. And now they don't Grief this turn. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to preordain first, just to see whether I'm ooh, okay. So we'll bottom that, we top that, play another Surveil land. We're looking for, okay, I'm actually going to keep that. I think this may be slow-paced enough that I can use this to go get my spoils. And now here I have Veil for their Grief, which is good. And they have to be a little bit careful now, because, like, you know, they use their Thoughtseize, they have Grief Pitch Atraxa, but we actually also need to be careful, though. We probably need to Veil in response to the Grief, not in response to the Grief entering play, otherwise they can Ephemerate it in response. And then they'll still get 1 discard on top of our Veil. So we need to Veil in response to Grief on the stack. So, okay. And they're pitching the Atraxa, so they're going for the Grief. Now they can still scam this into play. They have Ephemerate, Phalagi, and 1 unknown. They have the force negation? Oh, that's rough if they do. They do. I mean, they can't ephemerate out the grief at least. They had to hardcast it. So they do get to discard one thing, so they probably take our spoils. And then I think it's probably Farseek Tapland. I mean, okay, next turn they can Pillage Ephemerate. That does draw them some cards, which is a little annoying. Yeah, I guess they're trying to hold the Pillage Ephemerate here to like make something happen. Pillage, I mean, I could, basically my options here are I either plot the Pillage or and they get 2 cards back with Pillage Ephemerate. 2 non-lands, so they could get non-creature non-lands. They can't get back Grief. They could get back like Force Tainted. I think I'm going to go for the ramp. So we're gonna Farseek. Get a Sewers. And then, you know, weather. Okay, I will take another Pillage. And I'm not going to fetch away this Pillage. I actually should have fetched first. But it doesn't really matter. So next turn it might just be double plot Pillages. Each one's going to dig 12 cards. I mean, that's pretty strong. And then depending on what they do, yes, they're going for Pillage. They can get back, probably it should be Force of Negation. Chose Ephemerate, okay. I mean, I guess they're going to flicker their Pillage like a million times. Okay. Goes to our main phase. Can fetch. Get a Temple Garden. Fetch again. And get a... I mean, they can flicker their Goryos, which is actually bad. Does that kill us? I need to actually calculate that. So maybe I'm going to get the Swamp. Yeah, I'm going to just get the Swamp. If they flicker the Goryos, they can Atraxa hit us. Okay, so they flicker the Pillage. They get a Goryos. They go to their turn. They Goryos the Atraxa. The Atraxa smacks us for a whole bunch. We have to top deck something in order to Pillage the Bog for the win. Alternately, yeah, I think it is just we plot both of these. And we're going to lose the spoils, but if we draw a Grace or a Spoils or Oracle, I mean, it also depends. They could go for like Force of Negation instead. They're going to get 2 cards back with this flaw. They really get 3 cards actually. So they can get, yes, they can get Goryo's Force Tainted, which is bad. Oh, Teferi is bad. Oh, that's so bad if it's Teferi. Yeah, so they're going to go for the Teferi and then play the Teferi. Ugh. What did I bring? I don't think I brought in something that deals with Teferi. We just kind of hopes to fade it. Although, is it? That's just you can play it when you can play a sorcery. It's not suspend, so I actually think I can play them through that. So maybe Teferi actually doesn't do that much. So do they get the Goryos here? They chose Ephemerate. Okay. I don't know about this. They have Ephemerate, Teferi. Ephemerate, Teferi. I feel like I know one more card, but I can't think of it. Very sure. Need to be a little bit careful with our sequencing with this, but all right, Teferi. Did they take another? Cephalogy. Chooses Ephemerate. Fairy. Okay. So bouncing the Cephalogy? Did they pick up a force? I think I can cast the plot through Teferi. I'm not 100% sure if I can, but I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, and I mean, that was another very good pickup. So we get the Oracle. And then what else am I hoping to find? I'm hoping to find Thoughtseize, really. Yeah, so, I mean, I could take Spoils, and then I can Grace Spoils for Thoughtseize. Alternately, if I don't find it, this does still represent Oracle. So maybe I'm going to do that. We'll cast this one. Yeah, so now I can take Oracle, or I can just, I mean, either way, it doesn't matter which I take. I can take Thoughtseize. I can also take Veil. Make them counter it. Yeah, I think I actually kind of like that. So I can Veil first. And then I have... Oh, that was definitely a huge punt. So I used my green source. I just clicked on the wrong one. Oh, that was so bad. Yep, that was stupid. Or use my white source is what I mean. So if I spoils, is there anything I can spoils for here that works? No, there isn't. I guess maybe I can do a spoils for a white land, and then spoils for a low Thassa's Oracle. So it spoils for like Godless Shrine. This isn't gonna work. I had it. I just clicked the wrong land. Alright, well, that was a complete throw. We should have won that. Alright, Teferi. I mean, I'm a little more interested in the ramp on the play. I can maybe trim a Pact. Shake it off. We'll go back for the win. That was a horrendous punt. Yeah, I was just like, you know, calculating all of the different ways we could beat interaction, and I just tapped the wrong land. Ugh. Ugh. Alright. Yep. Okay. So Fatal Push useless. Unlife, not what I need. Pact. Yeah, that was so stupid. I'm annoyed about that. Alright. Ring is maybe a little bit better on the play. Maybe I bring like a ring or two back in. Especially if they're playing Teferi. We'll bring like a ring in. No, Pact is still good though. No, I don't think so. I think it's just like this. Pact can also just turn off the Teferi. So that's good too. Alright, so we have to play a game that we shouldn't have had to play. But that's our punishment for you know, clicking the wrong land. This seems fine. We don't have our Veil, but we do just have multiple Profanes getting suspended, which I like. So hopefully we find a turn 3 land, and then turn 4 we have like Thoughtseize Preordained Veil or something. Alright, so turn 1 Meticulous Archive, Surveil. This does mean that they're more likely to sort of aggressively... do I want a Farseek? think I don't. They're more likely to aggressively Thoughtseize us, given that we like lined up multiple Valve Summers last game. But yeah, I mean we're just looking for. Oh, they just go to discard. I mean, okay. They can't do anything with that on turn 1, but they certainly have a turn 2 Goryos if this is their play. So we have a suspended Profane. Next turn, we do have the Thoughtseize to take the Goryos, a Veil to defend ourselves, and the Preordain. We also could just like Thoughtseize and then potentially suspend the Profane, depending on what we see with the Thoughtseize. So we're going to go for the Thoughtseize. I will play this Polluted Delta in order to defend my Thoughtseize if needed with this Veil. Like if they have a Spell Pierce or something like that, although I think they're not that likely to have like Spell Pierce. Skipping turn 1. I would like to be able to suspend this Profane here, but it is a little bit risky. It will just come down to what we see in their hand. I'll probably fetch a green-blue. I'll probably fetch no, it would have to be black. So I guess I'd fetch green-black. But second black is bad. It would have to be black-blue, I guess, then. Get Watery Grave. Spell Pierce. Flusterstorm. Okay. So, question is, do we pay it? Do we cycle this Veil? So we'll let the Storm Trigger happen. I think we're actually going to cycle this, well, we pay it. Yeah, if we pay it like next turn, we can like Profane hold Veil or something. So I think we do pay it. I'm gonna get, could be Temple Garden. Oh no, I can't get Temple Garden with this. I could get, it's probably Breeding Pool. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna pay it. Take the Goryos, and they have an Ephemerate and Gristlebrand in their hands. Their hand kind of sucks. But, I mean, we need to fade one more turn kind of here. Then I'll feel reasonably good. So they have the Hog Fountain. Okay. Doesn't look like they're doing anything. So once I get to hold up... Oh, they've got a Faithful Mending. I mean, that's not bad for them. Once I get to hold up this Veil, I'll feel a little bit better. Okay, so Profane is ticking off. I'm going to probably go get Spoils. Yeah, I'll get a Spoils. Pillage the Bog. So here, I could preordain trying to find a land and then Profane Veil. I think the upside on that is high enough that I will go for it. Yeah, that's good. Then we can suspend Profane, hold up Veil. Next turn, depending on what happens, we can maybe like pillage. Or maybe we just keep holding up this Veil. Shadowy Backstreet, they're surveilling. Does mean that they can't flash back their Faithful Mending. They've got a Philagi though. So they do have an Ephemerate in hand. They get back, they choose nothing and they get the counter. Oh, because they don't have, oh no, they have Goryos. I don't know what happened there. Maybe they're punting back to us. So actually I feel like I'd want a green land. Grace. Yeah, we'll just go for the win. Yeah, we'll just go for the win. All right. I mean, they could have Force of Negation, but I don't actually think they. Don't we know they have a land and ephemerate? So actually, they can't have Force of Negation. So I don't mind risking this. It's not really a risk. We just have the nice clean Spoils Grace. Yeah, because we know. Yeah. Okay. So we threw the game 2, but then we get it back in game 3. So we did it the hard way. On the match 3-0. I just wanted to give you guys more content, really. That's all this was about. You can see more lovely Thassa's Oracle gameplay. And we're going to be playing for a trophy. So that's pretty cool. We get green Ad Nauseam a trophy. Who knows? Let's not get our hopes up too much. This is still a definitely very much a brew. Pillage, I can't say I feel like Pillage is the truth yet. But in some ways it is nice. It does play better than a 3-cost tutor. I think it plays better than, like, well, oddly enough, the thing that reminds me most of is Peer Through the Depths. Which, if you're old school, you'll remember when Ad Nauseam played Peer. Alright, so let's get to round number 5. Okay, round 5, I am gonna keep this. We have a Farseek. We've got 2/3 of our combo, and we've got a Pillage to dig for more of it. This is potentially the type of hand that could play like a turn 3 rain. Well, is it? I don't have 6 land. I don't know if calculating when we'll have 6 lands like Pillage on the same turn. I mean, that's sure, we take that. Delta. We could have a turn 3 combo depending on what we end up seeing with this Delta. So it's going to be turn 2 Farseek. And then, yeah. We'll Farseek. We'll fetch a Surveil land here on our opponent's end step, and then we will Farseek a Surveil land. Maybe they're playing the mirror. Could still be playing the mirror. Could be playing Living End. I don't think they're playing the mirror with basic forest, but you never know. So I want a. So I have the breeding pool to play the Farseek. So I'm gonna get a Meticulous Archive. I have like a Bowmasters or something here. Could it be Yawg again, maybe? Yeah, it could be Yawg again with Bowmasters. I will take that. Now I need to get a black source off this Farseek. Okay, I mean, I'm reading this as Yawg with a Bowmasters. So we'll play the breeding pool. And we'll get probably Undercity Sewers. And I'm actually going to keep that. Because maybe there's a world where I need more, yeah. Maybe there's a world where I need more land with the ring and like pillage if something goes wrong. Grist. Okay, so this is going to be the game. So it is Yawg again. I mean, so far we're 2-0 against it. Triple Yawg in one league is a little bit much. But I guess this is the how to play against Yawg with Pillage Ad Nauseam tutorial or something like that. Alright, so we'll play the Hollow Fountain. Let's make sure we don't screw up our mana too much. Again, they could have an Endurance, I guess, but we're not about to respect that here. Alright, do you have endurance? Looks like probably not, because I think they're just passing the turn. And yeah, alright, we're up a game against Yawg, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so we can bring in our Fatal Pushes again, try to slow them down, kill their mana creatures. So Seiju, again, kind of iffy. Pact, I don't think I need that many of them. We can cut the Unlife. This is what we've been doing this whole time against them. Veil, I think not as important. Pick your poison, not needed. Unlife can occasionally be useful, but maybe I could see a case for like a Thoughtseize or two. Maybe like one Thoughtseize over one ring. Yeah, okay, let's do that. So we're just looking for the nice, quick turn 3 again with Farseek. It'd be cool if we had another ramp card, I think. Even if we didn't play the full 4 of it. I thought about Search for Tomorrow, but we don't play enough basics. I gotta look at what some of the other options are. This isn't gonna work, this is all lands. This could work. We've got double spoils, we've got a pillage, so we've got tutors, we've got combo pieces. What am I getting rid of? I don't really want to get rid of a land. I think I actually... Oh, do I get rid of a spoils? No, I don't think I can get rid of a spoils. I think it does have to be a land, actually. We'll get rid of a land. And then turn 1, it's going to be Undercity Sewers. Turn 2, Farseek. Turn 3, probably like get rid of the pillage and then hope we draw the lands along the way. Or like plot the pillage, I mean. And then hopefully we have the 5 lands and we pick up the Grace. So our opponent is passing on turn 1 again. So again, not the most aggressive of starts. Okay, we do pick up the Grace. So that's pretty sweet. I don't need another Grace. And they could discard us, but I really just need land at this point. I can't afford to like take that insulation against the discard in a spot where oh, our opponent, they mulled to 5. Okay, I mean, sure. They've got a Wall Roots, 3 cards left in their deck, or in their hand. Breeding Pool, good. So I'm going to shock in the Breeding Pool because I may want to, it depends on what I want to fetch next turn, I don't know yet. Let's get a black source. So, oh no, we have a black source in sewers. Let's get Meticulous Archive then, get our white source. The One Ring. Do I want the One Ring? Probably do. Yeah. Like next turn I could like play Ring and then we go for the win the turn after. What do they have? Grist, sure. Okay, they're ditching a Dryad Arbor. So I mean they could certainly have a hand that does something still. So we need to, you know, be a little bit mindful. So we'll get a basic island here, I think. No, I need double black potentially. So I need... Where's my Watery Grave? Watery Grave? Did I not put a Watery Grave in this deck? Wait, what? I could have sworn I put a Watery Grave in this deck. Okay, I mean... That's a little bit awkward. I need the double black. I guess it's Overgrown Tomb? Yeah, it's Overgrown Tomb. Pay the 2. Alright, so this list should have a Watery Grave in it. I just didn't realize that I didn't put one in. Draw a card. Seiju. That's another land, but it's kind of a bad land because it's not a land I can combo with next turn. So really what I'm looking for is a untapped blue or white, or untapped blue, white, or black source next turn. Their opponent is gristing some more. They've got a Haywire Mite, so they can kill our ring. It's very rude of them. But, I mean, we did just kind of use it to ramp for a turn. So we go to our turn, and I mean, if they do nothing, we can just like plot this pillage, and probably be okay. Farseek. Yeah, I mean, we can't actually combo this turn, so it's going to be play the Boseiju, plot the pillage, so black, green, whatever, and then play a Farseek, and it's your go, opponent. We're definitely looking to win next turn. We'll get the Hedge Maze for the Surveil. Not that it's going to matter. Because, oh no, it's a plot, it's not a suspend. Okay. So, I mean, I like our chances. We could still die if they just, like, untap Yawg us and just go nuts with Yawg. So it's not... We're not out of the woods. We definitely could be dead. But if they don't have land Yawg here, we have it through, like, an endurance. So that's pretty nice. That's the land. That's a Soul Cauldron, which is not a Yawg. You can hit the Grist, but I mean, sure, you can make more tokens. But it's not... I don't think this is going to be enough. Fulminator, but the Soul Cauldron was already in use, so not too worried about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holding back the Bowmasters, that implies Cord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 4, 5, 6. They could, well, let's just see if we go to our turn. Are they going to Cord in response here? That'd be a little bit weird. They let us untap, we're just good. They let us draw, we're especially good. Okay. So now, yeah, we have one card in hand. I'm going to cast this to go looking for my Oracle, just to have as much protection as possible. And we find one. And so I can go for... Wait, let me not tap my white source. Oh man, that was almost very bad. Alright, Thassa's Oracle. Let it resolve. Spoils of the Vault. Angel's Grace. Let the Grace resolve. And go get the second Pact of Negation. In case there's anything that could go wrong. There isn't. Get the second Pact of Negation. And we'll name Simian Spirit Guide. And that should be the match. Alright, we got the 5-0 with, what's it called? With Pillage the Bog Ad Nauseam. So, or I guess not Ad Nauseam, but Pillage the Bog Spoils. It felt nice to have the redundant tutor. Pillage plays better than a 3-cost, like a Grim Tutor or something like that. That's what I was kind of concerned about at the beginning. The ring felt pretty reasonable here as well. Farseek felt good, and the number of Surveil lands felt pretty good as well. So overall, I mean, I'm pretty happy with how this played. I will be trying more of this in the future in addition to the Scam Nauseam. So maybe some interesting things are happening here, and maybe Modern Horizons 2 will give us something. I mean, Dark Ritual, please. But no, I don't expect Dark Ritual. But maybe the Necropotence card could be interesting. We'll be brewing with it here when it comes out, so you know, stay tuned. Check back in. If you're interested in other Ad Naus brews, might I recommend the Scam Nauseam from a couple videos ago. I'll see if I can have that play right after the end of this. All right, stay tuned, and until next time, keep playing Surveil lands in order to find your Thassa's Oracle. All right, bye everyone.